It is time to start unlocking your highest potential. You are that unlockable character that you had no idea you could unlock. And it's time to wake up. And it's time to take a step in your purpose, in your highest purpose. Because your everyday life, you know that you are tired and it's time for a change. And that sound right there is confirmation. Change can't come any quicker. You are either an earth angel or you might as well be one because you be doing the best that you can. You work hard. With the energy of these cards, it really reminds me of my old self where you work hard, you do your best, you go to work. If you go to school, you go to school, you do everything right. But for some damn reason, drama just seems to just find you somehow. And in the midst of all the drama and all the craziness, you have to remember to trust yourself. Trust your anchor. In the midst of things just being crazy, know that there's an opportunity for change. This says find power in chaos. Absolutely. Find it in chaos. Like, don't allow being overwhelmed to dictate what happens next because you get to do that. And like I said, a lot is going on and you need to take time to heal. Take time to heal yourself. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let those tears fly. Man or female, take time to yourself. Whatever it is that's just nagging at you, whether it's the world feeling like it's just heavy on your shoulders, whether it feels like, people are just being on your neck. Like, take a moment to acknowledge it all and release it. Because even, when you have a pot of water, like let's say a steam kettle, right? You know what I'm talking about. When you put water to boil on the kettle and it does that little whistling sound, yeah, it's letting the steam out, it's letting it out. Because if there wasn't no spout to let it out, it would explode. And don't explode in your reality. Because when you explode, oh my gosh, people are going to wonder, oh my God, what happened? Like, no, like, take control. It's in your power, even though it doesn't feel like it. I was there. I'm not saying I was there when you was going through your stuff, but I'm saying that in that stage of life, I was there. And please excuse my voice. I have a sinus cold, kind of. It's always off and on. So if you hear my voice kind of crack, yeah, just know it's my sinuses. But yeah, take time to heal. Allowing tears is a part of growth, and don't let anyone make you think that letting out your emotions is a sign of weakness. It absolutely isn't. It's strength to acknowledge how you feel and to release what you don't need. It is always good to unplug from social media because we don't need validation. We don't need validation of who we are. We don't need validation to say that we are good people or an artist or whatever. Views, even though, yeah, it's helpful to get, monetized, right? But be your authentic self. Channeling that and saying that, there is a card that pretty much says that be unique, screw these rigid rules. Like, yeah, they say you should be like this or you should be like that or you should work this way and you should work that way. How do you want to work? When I used to be a supervisor, a lot of times in these workplaces, they have this idea that, oh, it's top down management, right? But what about working with the team? What about knowing people's weaknesses and placing them where they need to be? What about, excuse me, confirmation burp. What about if we just took the time to work with one another and see people where they are and meet them where they are, and we could all come together during each shift and flow? We could sail this ship. Every captain has his people, and every captain has his people that does the work. The captain is the leader. You know what I'm saying? So I worked differently than everybody else. You know, for example, I went and worked at other dining halls. I'm not gonna tell you where I worked, but I worked at a dining hall in like one of those colleges. And I went to go work at a different dining hall. And so there was just so much chaos, meaning like this one was like, oh my God, I didn't get a break because they're like the only person manning dishes. Oh my God, this person leaves at this time and I don't get a break. And then this person's like, oh my God, we ran out of XYZ. Again, in the midst of chaos, you have power. You got to think on your feet. Don't be overwhelmed and think of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Who's going to save me? You got to trust yourself because you have the ability to move smoothly through the world without a care in the world. It takes work to get there. But know that you have a power. Know that you have the power to do what you need to do. So, in the midst of all that chaos, right? The guy, I was like, look, I made sure my floor was good, where everybody had their lunches. People know what they got to do. They know what food is going out, right? And so the person that needed his break, I'm like, look, I understand what you're going through. When you ready to take your break? Oh, I'm ready to go now. Okay, go now. And he's just like paused with like, what? I'm like, go now. I'll take over. I just need to do this and this, right? Boom. Sometimes we got to get our hands dirty and work together. Of course, everybody else is going to see it differently. But what are your views? How do you want to move differently? How do you want to sell your ship? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you may even have the better insight than somebody else. All it takes is just being yourself and saying what you need to say. So hopefully that helps someone out there. And so I understand that, it says stop repeating the same thing again and again. I know things happen where it's like on repeat every day, every day. Like with my last job, it wasn't a bad place. People were very kind to me. Walking through the doors, I'm telling you, it was almost as if I walked through the intro to Cheers. Like, oh, and that might be dated for some people, but Cheers, this old show that used to come on Nick at Night. And it starts with sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Boom, 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 boom. I ain't trying to give you the real vocals, but and they're always glad you came. It was nice. People say good morning, hi, so and so. I was so helpful to everyone else and not focusing on the rigid rules of what everybody else is saying. Like, oh, just tell them what to do and they got to just do it. It's like, okay, I'll tell you what to do. This is what I need you to do, but I want to meet you where you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's having your idea of how things work and how you want to work. And then there's the idea of how everybody else wants you to work. But you know what, though? I feel as though I was one of the people who worked the best. When anything happened, everybody's like, yo, Day, we need you. Or like, hey, how's it going? Because I never just beat people down with words. We don't need that. No one goes to work for that. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of my things I used to say. It's like, yo, when things were crappy, I'm like, nobody comes to work for this. Absolutely not. And as I say this to you, I do have the career card here, meaning like don't allow the rigid rules of work, the workplace politics. Don't let it like dull your light. Don't let it take away your soul either. Shoot, I've had dreams about that, but no, I'll share it where like this dream started out where whew, it was heavy. So this dream started out where I was in this office with my husband. We are both looking for jobs. And so it was this crackhead inside. Yeah, pull up your seat. So there was this crackhead sitting in there with his orange shirt and missing teeth. And I don't know. It's like the floor was graded and there was just garbage underneath him. Like he put trash underneath him. And there was like the receptionist window. I don't know what this crackhead was doing here, but I mean, he couldn't possibly be looking for a job. But anyway, so make a long story short, there was a lot of my dreams are crazy, but moving forward, people when I left the place, I had to slide on a pair of shoes that was easy for me just to get going. And then once I got through the door and got outside, it was pouring and raining heavy. And there were people in black and white suits and ties, men and women, they were all laid out on the ground. Like, you know how you have like the sidewalk? They were laid up on the sidewalk, but in the streets as if they were like laid down like dominoes pieces, like one laid on top of the other, just laid out as if they were asleep. I think they were oh, excuse me. I don't know if I could. I'll probably blurt that out. But I do not believe that they were alive. And I think the thing is with that the dream was also stating is that these people allowed the workplace to kill their dreams. These people allowed these workplaces to just take them out. There is no creativity when you're Mr. Smith from the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? So think about it now. Now I ain't telling you to do nothing crazy, but don't allow this to dim your light. Yes, careers is something that we've been conditioned to like do because they made us believe that, oh, how else are you going to make money if you don't go and work someplace, right? But then look at the world now. We are shifting into a different timeline. Actually, we've already shifted, and now it's to a point where this right here is not sustainable. you know a lot of people are getting fired, hired and fired in a lot of places. So start crafting what your story needs to be of your life. Start painting your life the way you want it to be. Paint your story, shape your life like the masterpiece that you want it to be. And what you have to do is trust the universe, because when you trust the universe, all of your dreams will come true. You just have to trust. It's like doing that trust fall off of a cliff. Don't do that. But when you look at the traditional tarot cards, where you see the fool at the cliff, that he's just like, yeah. So like, you got to jump into that unknown. If you've been wondering, then maybe this is confirmation. And yes, when you're going through the rigid rules of life and dimming your light and not being yourself and being anxious and overwhelmed and not knowing left from right, your wishes will not come true that way, but they will when you trust in the universe. And remember when I was talking about things just repeating over and over and over again? Oh my gosh, when I was at that last place, the reason why I was like, it wasn't a bad place. It really wasn't. People were nice. It was just not a job I wanted to do. I felt like I was wasting my time. People were nice. People were kind. I worked the night shift, 2 to 10. At one point, it was like 2 to 11. Oh man, sometimes during like special days, it would be like from 2 to 12, and like it would take me forever to get home. But I used to go to work and it used to be a repeat every single day. And at one point, I got so pissed at going to work, and I was like, you know what? I can't be this mad because I am the one making this choice. It was same ish, different day. And one day I was like, yo, I don't know if I could do this anymore. Like it was just going again and again and again. But when you trust the universe, you just whatever it is that your mind is telling you to do, you gotta just listen. Like for me, I had to just drop it. And around that time, I was seeing numbers 444. They were like, yo, the angels were like, yo, you got our support. Whatever answer you got for yourself, the universe has you. You know, funny thing, but start being spontaneous. Don't live a dull, boring life. Don't be like those people whose dreams got by work. Not at all. And so this card says savor each exchange. Authenticity trumps perfection. Don't dim your light to meet others' expectations. Absolutely not. Don't do it. Yeah, a lot of this reading is be yourself. Nourish your soul. Give yourself a break. Enjoy your life. This one says, as fluid as the ocean, soft as the wind, your sensitivity is your superpower. Trust the ebb and flow of your heart. Yeah. Emotions. Yeah. So water deals with the flow of emotions, right? And if you look at Let me bring it on over here. Yeah, as you see, she's, she has tears. It's flowing. It's the flow of emotions, follow your heart. You know what I'm saying? Whatever feels right on what you need to do moving forward, you got to just do it. Okay? You got to just do it. Again, be unique. If somebody here is a content creator, you got to be unique. You can't be like X, Y, and Z. I mean, some can, but then people going to peep the fakeness. You know what I mean? And at what cost? Just be yourself. That last job I was at, like, I was working. I remember at a point where I would do these jobs and do my darnest. I would do my best. I would do my best to try to be like the top of the class type person, and no one appreciated it. I had a person, one of my coworkers that I was really cool with, I had her tell me that a boss of mine was talking such crap to me, and I thought we were the almost the best of friends, and I worked hard and I did my best. Anytime she called me, I would run in. Be yourself. People really value authenticity. And I definitely saw it within my last job. Be yourself. Don't wear these cosmetics or wear this mask to be what other people want you to be, to try to fit in, or just maybe live this dream of a life that you think that just isn't real. And I'm not saying that your dreams to be whatever, if it's not you being your authentic self, it isn't real. If it's not you being true to yourself, it isn't real. So shoot, I remember this one memory came to mind where my uncle, God bless his soul, he's passed away like years ago. And I remember I was like 13, and you're at that age, boys like girls, girls like boys, people acting stupid. Sometimes the pretty girls are the guys that's telling them that they're ugly, and hearing that a lot of the times, like, how could you believe that you're not, right? And then I remember I came home and I asked my uncle, and I was like, because I'm thinking, like, he talks to ladies, he's around ladies, it ain't that kind of relationship. But it's like, am I ugly? It's like, he would know an ugly person, right? And he said, you know what, Day? The world is ugly. And I was like, yo, years later, I'm in my 30s, and I still think about that once in a while. I'm like, damn, that's some true ish. But yeah, don't wear no mask for people. It says, wear red lipstick for you to paint the world with your own bold hue, not to please anyone else. Yeah, don't be out here people pleasing, because ain't nobody gonna please you. You gotta please yourself. And protect your privacy online. Start doing what you love. And nature is your ally. And honestly, with everything going on, it's okay to doubt. It's okay. Like, it's a part of the human experience. But when you trust the great divine, when you trust the higher power, when you trust the universe, God has a lot in store for you. I call him God. Whatever you call the higher power is what you call him. He goes by many names, or she, that I feel like, I don't know. I'm getting used to my abilities, so I just feel like I've heard that, like, she for someone. So let me pick up another card for you, or two. Let's see what else we got. These are sideway cards, so I'm going to assume they are upright. With everything going on, people around you may probably think like, oh, it's no big deal, yada yada yada, because like, they don't know. Start treating yourself. This goes back to, you know, I have a card here. I'll read it to you. It says, sensual energy. Awaken your inner goddess, or king, that I like to say, and celebrate your sensual essence. Let your desires be a source of empowerment to, well, can't read today. Let your desires be a source of empowerment and self discovery. Absolutely. Yeah. Your dreams, your desires, what you've probably always wanted to be, what you've always wanted to do, what you daydream about, follow it. Trust the universe. You're having that for a reason. When we have thoughts and dreams or even visions, it's the higher power talking to us and letting us know that it's possible. And it can only happen through us. So get it, grab onto it, and do your best to stop complaining. There's so much to be grateful for. And I am also learning that very same thing. And, there's a party in your heart. Again, you've always wanted to be somebody cool. I mean, shoot, you are somebody cool. Start being that person. Be that cool freaking baby. And the other card says, do not disturb regression and progress. Yeah, start taking time to yourself and relax. And I hope that this reading helps you. I hope that you can move forward in life with clarity. Take time to heal. Love yourself. Don't dull your creativity and be unique. Don't dull yourself for anybody else. And don't let nobody tell you who you should be, because you get a chance to do that. You're living this life, not them. So until next time, see you later.